What's up, ladies and gents?
Welcome to Besties, where the tea is hot and the laughs are even hotter.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Sean. We're your favorite duo, ready to spill, dish, and serve all the laughs.
Let's get into it. As always, we'll kick off the episode with a few choice complaints from our highly esteemed complaint department. That's right, folks. Our inbox is your therapy session. After we get all of that out off our chests, we'll dive into the main topic, text gone wrong, where we share the absolute worst text fails that will make you double check your autocorrect settings forever. And then buckle up because it's time for Did You Really Just Say That? That's right. It's my turn to completely butcher a word in public live on air for your amusement. Prepare your ears from verbal carnage as I attempt to use it in a sentence. Pray for me, people.
Yes, pray for her. Very, very important. We pray for Brittany. But you know what? I will say last episode was a hard one for me. I got the word, but I didn't get the meaning or how to use it in a sentence. So I think, it's hard either way. And the word that I have for you today has also been a struggle for me. And, we'll get into it when you guess what it is. And I'll, share what some of my qualms are with that word.
I just can't wait. I'm on the edge of my seat, really.
Can't wait. So we do have a couple complaints from the complaint department. We have some submissions, but then we just have some general ones that, Brittany and I are basically tired of. Okay. That's how we're going to do it. So getting right into it, Brittany, do you have a complaint from this week that you want to talk about?
Yeah. Let's talk about laundry minutes. It's such a scam. You literally will be like, okay, we got 5 minutes on the clock. You leave the room, you go do something for like 10 minutes. You come back, there's 7 minutes on that clock. It's like, what is going on? Are we like doing laundry in dog years? Like, I'm not understanding why it's never done when it says it's going to be. And then time is always added when you go back. Like, why can't it just, I set an alarm so that I know. And I even sometimes allow like 20 minutes and there's still 35 minutes when I get back there. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on?
I think this is the age-old annoyance of, I think we've made some appliances way too smart for their own good. Like, why can't we just go back to when appliances were, I remember as a kid, the dryer that I had in my house, you set the 50-minute dial, done in 50 minutes. Okay, that's it. It has the wrinkle shield built in. It has all this stuff. Now, same thing with me. My washer and dryer goes on and it has, you pick your own settings, okay? Especially with the washer, you pick your own settings and then it just says sensing as soon as it starts. And it's like, bitch, I didn't need you to sense. I signed up for this, okay? This 65-minute wash that is supposedly going to take, and then now you're sensing it and it could be longer. And same with the dryer. I totally get it. Even now, I feel like sometimes on my new dryer, I'll do a timed dry, but then at the end of the dry, it'll say like adding time or what is it? It's something like, sometimes it'll say sense, but sometimes it'll say like still damp or something like that. And it just keeps running until it's dry. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I know, I hate it. It's like giving mixed signals. Like, it's like a bad relationship. Like, it's not being truthful. Like, get your shit together, Maytag. I don't even think that's my brand, but
stop lying to me, Whirlpool.
Ooh, I have a Whirlpool. That's exactly what I have. I mean,
I have a Samsung, I think, but regardless, I agree.
Yeah, love that she's sensitive, but like at some point you just got to get it together and realize how much clothes I'm throwing in and just figure it out.
Yeah.
And like, don't lie to me.
Okay, you know what else this is one thing I love about the dryer is if you time it just right and you go up and you take your clothes fresh out the dryer and you put them on and they're just like warm and like nothing like taking out a sweatshirt that you love and it's all warm and it just coddles you. It's so freaking nice.
No, love that. But literally, okay, so, you see those like home registries and like wedding registries or like whatever, the towel warmer, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, who needs that? Not kidding. I was in the shower. Jeffrey was folding towels straight out of the dryer. It was all rolled up. So like the heat was like inside of it. I
Yeah.
put it on. I'm like, no, I get it. I get it and I need it. And I need it right now. It was life changing. Like you get out of the shower and you're like, ooh, 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 like freezing, and you put on a warm towel. Oh my God, game over. Maybe even better than sex. Maybe even.
Okay, I was just about to say, like, isn't it sometimes better because you're just like, just leave me here. Leave me here for 5 minutes while I just wrap myself in this warm blanket, towel, sweatshirt, whatever it is. So
Yes.
good. All right, so I'm curious to hear on this topic. I know, whatever, getting on a little bit of a tangent, but whatever, that's what we do. Um, are you the type of person that when you do your laundry, are you taking it out right away, folding it, doing everything you need to do, putting it away?
So typically I have like two, or depending how many towels we have, three loads when I finally do it, because I do it. Jeffrey will start the washer. Like we started this new system. Jeffrey will start the washer on Friday morning and he'll be like, hey, I started the washer. And I'll be like, okay, great. And then I'll switch it. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll put my timer on, do my best to pull it out when it's warm. But I fold his clothes and my clothes on the bed since it's in our bathroom. So it's like perfect, same floor, basically same room. And, but then I just like keep it there because the second load's coming, the third load's coming. And then I put it all away once, unless I have time to like do it, but typically I don't. I'll just like leave it on the bed until everything's done and then I'll put it away. But like even sometimes I'm like rushing because it's like I just got off work and like now we have to go do something on a Friday. So I'm
Yeah.
like throwing my leggings on top of my dresser because I'm like, to try and fit these back into my thing with everything fluffed up. I'm like, I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
What
Me,
about you?
100% no. I am not that type of person. I honestly hate myself and I need to start getting better, but because I always tell myself, like, when you do laundry, fold it, put it away. Fold it, put it away. I cannot tell you how many times either of us were both so bad about this. We will do laundry, and if it's, a couple loads, I'll always fold the first load, but for some reason the second load, it just stays in the dryer, and it could be in there for like 3 days, and then we go to run the next wash, and then whatever, put all the wet clothes in the dryer, and then notice all of the clothes that I didn't put away 3 days ago. And it's so frustrating in the moment because then I have to run the dryer again for at
Fluff
least
it.
like 15 minutes to fluff it out, and then I have to fold it away. And then I get even more mad because I feel like, okay, I wasn't even planning on doing this extra load that now I have left myself 3 days ago that I forgot about, and now I have to do that extra laundry on top. So I am so bad about that. I don't know what or how the listeners feel about that, but I 100% am the complete opposite, and I need to change. I need to change so bad, but it's just and mine's the same way. It's right in our room, right outside of our room, like in the hallway. It's a perfect location to just put it away right in the closet, but I get distracted, other things come up. I think a lot of times I'm doing it while I'm working.
Yeah.
So then, I get buried in something in work, and then I just forget it's in there, and it's a lost cause by that point.
Literally. So I don't know, maybe try to set a timer like I do and then just throw it on your bed. So like before bed, you have to fold it. And then Kevin's there to help you too. And
Yeah.
then I also always try to make my last load like towels because it's not that important because do you ever like search for something and you're like, where is it? And it's been in the dryer the whole time and your closet's torn apart, dressers are torn
Yeah.
apart. You're like, oh, it's in there. So I try to always make my last load be like towels because towels are easy to fold. It's not like separating a bunch of things, or your like bed sheets, because then you have to, if that's your last thing that you're throwing in, I mean, you have to sleep on them, so you have to finish it. You
Yeah.
have to. You'll
And
only forget once.
I know, unless you're like me and I have two sets, and then I just like, as soon as I throw it in the wash, I put on the new set and make my bed in the morning. But I
Dead.
will say I do like, same thing when they're fresh out of the dryer and you put them back on your bed and then you just go to sleep in your nice warm sheets. Nothing like it, folks. A big warm hug.
Dead. Well, you know what Jeffrey bought for us is a bed warmer. Like it's basically like a sheet that you like put over your mattress, and then you like put your sheets on top and then your blankets,
Oh
and
my.
you can like set each side. So like mine's always on high and his is like on 2, and you can like put it on preheat, or sometimes like if we're watching TV, I'll just put mine on high like an hour before bed, so it's like nice and toasty when we go to bed. It's
And then
so
you wake
nice.
up and you're like 75 pounds lighter because you've just sweat everything out.
No, I usually, by the time I'm like done scrolling on my phone, I'm like, okay, she's hot. And I turn it off because I'm like, I can't fall asleep if I'm freezing. Like, my feet being cold is the absolute worst.
Uh,
Cannot fall asleep. But like, if I'm like nice and toasty, I'm like, all right, I'll doze off. Sometimes I will wake up and it'll be like, 3 a.m. I'm like, we got to turn this off. I forgot. But no, I love it.
I wish I could be a warm sleeper. I'm definitely like, it has to be cold in the room. I mean, I'll snuggle up under blankets and, warm up eventually, but I like the room cold, I think. And like so I guess similar to you, like I like warm sheets, but I don't think I could have a heater, like a heated blanket or something on me unless I was camping or, doing something that was absolutely freezing and I needed it. Sure. But I'm envious that you can just turn that on and snuggle up.
Yes.
Anyway,
Christmas is coming.
I know too much of a tangent on that, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
what's your complaint?
Laundry.
Yes, what's your
Um,
complaint?
so I have two complaints. One is I'm so sick and tired of people identifying an authentic restaurant as a fast food restaurant, okay? Or like a chain restaurant. And let me clarify that. I went grocery shopping and everybody, first of all, at the grocery store that I go to, so nice. Everyone always asks you like, how's your day? How are you? Whatever. And I'm a very friendly person, overly friendly sometimes. So I always chat with them, have conversations, whatever. So this one particular person that was checking me out today was, hey, how's your day? Oh, it's good. Do you like Mexican food? And have you been to any Mexican restaurants in the area? This is what this person is saying to me as I'm checking out. So I kind of chuckled and I just said, well, I'm actually new to the area. So if you have any recommendations, I would love to take them because me and my husband have been wanting to go to some, but we're just, there's a lot of other things going on. We haven't made it there yet. So he says, "Oh yeah, I have a bunch of recommendations." So as he's bagging my stuff, he goes, "Okay, let me think." And then he goes, "So Chipotle, have you ever been there?" I'm like,
Well, how old is this person?
"Oh, he was maybe like early 20s, late."
Okay, that checks out.
Okay, yeah. And so I kind of laugh and I just say, "Yeah, I've been there." And then he says, "What about Chili's?" I'm like, yes, I've been there. I don't, and I said, I don't really classify Chili's as a Mexican restaurant, but okay. And then he did suggest this other restaurant, Guapos, which is actually down the road for me, but it's a chain. So same thing. And I laugh when people, so then, okay, then after the whole, Mexican conversation, he goes, "Oh, so do you like Asian food?" So I'm like, yeah.
He's like PF Chang's.
Yeah. Well, that's more popular, not as popular down here, but one of the popular ones that is popular down here, Panda Express. And I'm literally dying, and he's dead serious.
Oh wait, I think that's the one I meant to say.
Yeah.
What is PF Chang's? I don't even.
PF Chang's is like it's definitely a chain for sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's Chinese food or if it's like Asian or Thai. I'm not really sure like what the classification is of PF Chang, but and he's looking at me full serious, like, "Oh yeah, Panda Express." And I literally look, I'm like, "Have you been anywhere else? Because that's a chain." I'm not gonna go to a chain restaurant. Like I want, really good. If it's, I was thinking he was gonna give me some good recommendations on like some authentic Asian food or some other stuff. Nope, doesn't, just give me all these chain restaurants. So I'm definitely annoyed and over people constantly giving food recommendations, but they're recommendations that are chain restaurants or they're restaurants that are fast food restaurant. Like I consider Chipotle fast food. It's
Yeah.
not like McDonald's fast food, but it's you get in, you get out. Like Chipotle is super, super quick.
It's like a Subway. You like pick
Yeah,
out what you want.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
fast
like
food.
Chipotle is very Americanized. Like I was thinking he was gonna recommend like this little cocina or like a Tex-Mex place or somewhere.
Yeah.
Nope. Chipotle, Guapos, and Chili's. Chili's threw me, yo. That was that is not a Mexican restaurant.
Dead. In his defense, though, he probably hasn't experienced much. He's working a minimum wage job
You know,
and
for
going to minimum wage places.
and you know they probably ain't paying him enough to even go to authentic place. He's like, oh, Chipotle, I'm in. I got my $13 paycheck or whatever it was. Oh goodness.
You should do some research and like come in with a list and be like, you know what? Thank you so much for your
I
recommendations.
should.
Here's some of mine, and he'll be like, oh,
I totally should. If he's ever there again at the same time that I go, I never go on Mondays, but I went on Monday because
Veterans Day.
exactly I had the day off, so I was like, all right, I'll go now. I'll do it. So who knows if he'll be there on my regular grocery store shopping day, which is a Sunday, but we shall see. Time will tell.
Well, shouts out to him for trying.
I know for sure, and like making good conversation. Like I
Right. I could never.
I totally appreciate people who do that, especially there. I feel like they're so good just about, how's your day? Even last night we ordered pizza and I went to a restaurant and to pick it up and we're kind of frequent flyers there. It's a really good place. And I walk in there, same thing. The guy's like, how's your Sunday? I'm like, oh, it is great, sir. How is yours? And he's like, we love to hear that. We love to have relaxing, nice Sundays. And I'm like, damn, like these people are drinking some happy juice or something. Like
Right.
coming in there just wanting my pizza and you're ready to have like a full on freaking conversation with me.
You're like, sir, you are out here in the trenches on a Sunday, not relaxing.
Yo, for real. Yeah, but everybody, like I said, everybody usually has a really great attitude down here. But sometimes just when people do that, same thing. Even I've gotten it in other places, not just here, but even when I live
Yeah.
back up north, and it's like that is not an authentic place. Okay, that is a chain. That is a fast food place, like whatever. But hey, everybody's version of fancy is different than somebody else's, I guess.
Yeah. Chipotle is something else.
You find yourself a Chipotle a lot, Brittany?
Not really, but it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me all the queso.
It's good. I was gonna say if you can see her face, listeners, it looked like she was being very sarcastic about that answer. Do you have another complaint? Because if not, I have another complaint.
You keep going. Tear off the Band-Aid. Let's go.
All right. So I also am so sick of parents, and again, like, ease up, people. Don't come for me. I was a parent at one point, whatever, long story. But I am so sick of people or parents not watching their kids in public spaces. Okay. Like I went to a brewery this weekend and I gave my sister and her husband just a little bit of a break and said, all right, we'll take the kids. It's this huge brewery. It has a huge green space, a playground, like a bunch of stuff for kids to do. So Kevin and I said, okay, we'll take the kids, spend some time in here, 20 minutes, half hour, whatever you need, just like have fun. We'll go out because they really, really wanted to play. So we go out with them. We're walking around with them at the playground, watching them climb up and down. There are people not even looking. Like this one couple basically drops their kid off. The kid is probably the same age as my nephew, so maybe 6, 7. Cannot be older than 7. Could be even younger, maybe 5. drops him off, walks away like completely around the corner, around the building, not even around to see the kid. And the kid starts throwing rocks at
Of
other
course.
kids on the freaking playground. So I am, trying to, because again, it's so hard nowadays to go up and say something to kids without, either someone seeing or someone saying something or whatever. So I kind of stayed back for a little bit, but Kevin immediately was like, no, I'm saying something. She's not going to be, this little girl isn't going to be sitting here throwing rocks.
Right.
So he goes over, says something. Of course, they kind of get like, meh, like, upset and kind of walk away, but then they get over it. But then there's this other child, this cute, cute little girl, and she starts doing what our nephews are doing. Basically, whatever, sees them having fun. They were like swinging on this pole and then basically dropping themselves to see how far they could get on the wood chips. And we were like carving out the line and whatever, trying to make it fun. And this little girl, she's maybe 2.5, 3, she starts,
Oh.
okay?
Oh.
She starts hanging on the bar, and of course Kevin and I are like, okay, where is your parent? There's no adult, like there's nobody here. So Kevin goes up to the little girl, like pretends to swing with her, and then basically catches her and like places her down on the ground. So of course she just keeps doing it over and
Oh
over
no.
and
And
over.
Kevin's like, this is awkward for me,
Yes.
but I don't want her to fall.
After like maybe 4 or 5 of attempts of her doing that, the dad finally walks over and sees us, and he goes, oh, like, isn't that so nice, blah blah blah. Doesn't even come in, doesn't help to bring her out or help her like place her down. He literally just says, oh yeah, she's so cute, look at you, oh look at you floating. And Kevin and I are continuing to just catch this man's child
Oh
and
my
put him on the
God.
ground. So I'm like, okay, cool. So finally, after like maybe 5 minutes, he walks in and then he plays with her for literally maybe zero point 0.2 seconds and then walks out of the playground again. So we're like, all right, whatever. So then luckily she kind of gets bored of that. She starts doing something else, right? So now she starts going down the slide. She goes down the slide and she looks for Kevin and I for some sort of reaction. So we both start clapping and just saying,
Oh.
yay, yay, like whatever. And she was lighting up. She was clapping with us. Like she was super, super adorable. We had no problem with this. But again, I'm just like, we don't know who these people are, the type of person, whatever. So we're again doing that for 4 or 5 minutes as she's just repeating going down the slide. And the mom walks over and she just starts laughing and she goes, oh, she loves when people clap and cheer her on. She has 2 other brothers. She's the youngest and she doesn't get enough attention. And I'm thinking to myself, you damn right, lady. You're not even watching your kid. So then, like, I start laughing with her and I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, she's been really cute. She's definitely looking for the validation, whatever, having a conversation. And the woman just walks away. I'm like, okay. So again, Kevin and I are sitting here like clapping,
Oh
whatever,
my
cheering.
God.
So eventually our 2 nephews are like, all right, we're kind of getting bored. There were kids over in like the green space next to the playground playing soccer. So they wanted to go do that. So we follow them over there. We're watching them play soccer. I'm sitting on the green space and the mom walks over to me after like 2 minutes and she just goes, oh, I just want to thank you. Like, she loves an audience. She clearly kept looking for you guys for the praise, so I didn't want to interrupt. And I'm like, ma'am, what are you thinking? Like, this is literally, and, Kevin and I obviously have had a little bit of an experience with adoption and attempting to adopt. So, he was joking around with me when we were cheering on this little girl, and he was just like,
Let's take her.
this is an easy adoption situation here. Like, we can just take this kid. Like,
Right.
there were so many little kids there, no parents around. Kevin and I were the only 2 in the playground. And then, of course, me being me, I feel like I have to be watching every child because I'm like,
Right.
what's going to happen here? Like, what is this situation going to turn into? So I am so sick of that. Like, if you go to a brewery or a public space that has activities or things to do, take turns, folks. Let one adult, like if you're catching up or you're with a group of friends, I get it. Or just ask for a sitter, but don't leave your kid there by themselves, especially that little girl, a different little girl throwing the rocks. Ooh, girl, I was ready to, you know, give that little girl a piece of my mind. Like,
Ted.
you're literally throwing huge rocks with all these little kids around. Give me a break. So yeah,
No
man,
kidding.
I'm over it. I'm over that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no kidding. Like it would be like were you guys wearing like it was a brewery, is that right?
Yeah.
Were you guys wearing like brewery swag where like they're like, "Oh, they're the staff." Like
Oh,
were
no,
you
we certainly were not. We
Oh
were
my I could just see Kevin like going over the intercom like, "We got a 5-year-old female child bleeding from the chin.
not. Literally.
We need backup."
She's fleeing the scene. She's going over. She's going over to the plastic dragon over on the other sidewalk next to us. She's due eastbound in about 3 minutes. Like it's literally ridiculous. Some of these people, it's so funny. It makes you think of those like TikToks when they show people like running and they're like, suspect is,
Yeah.
whatever, hasn't ran for 4 years in her life and already out of breath or whatever. It's so true. It's like, suspects throwing rocks. Oh, she's leaving. She's fleeing the scene. She's running around the ice cream truck. She's getting away. What are we supposed to do? And then, of course, you're gonna eventually get those parents that, if we say something, if it doesn't sit well with the kid and they run over and tell their parents, like, I don't want a parent coming over and yelling at me, but it's like,
Right.
watch your kid, like, figure out what the
100%.
hell they're doing. Give me a break.
Yeah, no kidding. I know. We went to a benefit for this little boy for cancer, and this little girl, these swings at this brewery were super, super high. Like, I'm talking like 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah,
And
like
I'm like,
adults,
what?
like made for adults.
Like, yeah, but obviously adults aren't going to be on them. But
Right.
it's like for kids, there's like other kid things over there. And I'm like, why would they be so high? And then I'm like, oh, maybe they're so high so that a child actually needs an adult to use them.
Ooh, smart.
But there was like this little girl that was on it and then she jumped off. So I don't know if like her parent put her on. So then she's like, can you lift me up? And Jeffrey looked at me because he's like, I'm not picking her up. Like, this is weird. And I'm like, I don't know if I can like lift her because she was like probably 8 or 9. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't know if I could lift that much weight. Not that she was like, heavy, but that high. And I'm like, we can try. And I was like, Jeffrey, just grab the swing so we could like put it under her. But I'm like, then she was like, can you keep pushing me? And I'm like, listen, like, I am not here for you, little bestie, and I don't want to.
And that's literally when it turns into like, okay, I didn't come here to push you in a freaking swing, you little squirt, for the next 30 minutes. Like, I was
Right.
just trying to help you on a swing. Where's your mom at? Where's
Right.
your dad at? Where's grandma, grandpa? Anybody but me, okay?
Literally. Maybe next time I'll just be like, no comprende.
Yeah, for real. For real.
No.
Hable inglés. Like,
Yeah.
for real. It's,
En escuela, biblioteca.
oh my gosh. Escuela en vivir. False. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Keep smiling. Keep shining. Oh my gosh. I can't. I literally can't.
But yeah, no. Like, I love kids. Don't get me wrong. Kids are the bomb. But if you're not mine or you're not with me, please see yourself out. Thank
Right,
you. Have a good night.
Or don't, like, the poor child is like, oh, I'm here to have fun. Like, help me out. But as a parent, I'm like, or an adult who's overlooking children, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not here for that. Like, you're not my kid. I don't want to be responsible if you fall out of the swing or like
Right.
trip and fall and, get yourself scratched up or God forbid break something. Like, I don't want to be the person responsible for that.
Right. At that case, at that point in time, I will be the one fleeing the scene.
Yeah.
We got a 33
Yeah.
female.
Bald man with a beard fleeing the scene, going east toward the beer garden.
They took out 3 kids on the way. They're running.
Yeah, it's like Monsters Inc. We got a 2319, and then everything starts just piling on top of the child. Oh, get them cleaned up from the bruises or whatever it is that's going on with them.
Ted.
So yeah, those are my 2 complaints. Woof.
Yeah, Woof is right. All right. So I guess it's time for your texts that have gone terribly wrong and where we expose the absolute worst text fails you wish you could unsend.
Where your messages go from LOL to oh my god real quick. Let's dive into text you wish you could unsend.
Do you want to hit it with yours?
No, Brittany, you go first. I feel like I just talked a lot, so
Okay, you're right. I'm going to save mine for last cuz it's a really it's not good for me, but it's good for all the listeners. So
okay.
I'll share one that we got in. Let me just find it on my phone.
While Brittany is looking for that, thank you, wonderful listeners, for continuing to submit stuff. We love this. This is what we're here for. We love hearing other people's examples of crazy texts gone wrong.
Yes, everything. Please keep sending it all in. Even if it's like not a topic we're covering, send it in, folks. We need you. Okay. So, it's going to remain anonymous, I guess. When my mom was sick in the hospital, her husband was being a dick to the nurses, which in turn seemed to make them want to avoid her room. I'm talking about complained about everything every time they walked into the room. They never did anything right in his eyes. When my super outgoing brother got to the hospital after a few days, he was so pleasant and very nice to the nurses, calling them all by name, making jokes with them, and all around just being personable with the people caring for our mom. While I was at the hospital alone with my mom, I sent my brother a long text about how it was so nice to finally have someone else around who wasn't being a dick to the nurses, and raving about how much better the care was for my mom that she was receiving because the nurses were being respected rather than treated like shit. After being yelled at every time they walked into her room. Except I didn't send the text to my brother. I accidentally sent it to my mom's husband. I didn't realize my mistake until he texted back, "What was I trying to say? Oops."
Yikes.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens to a lot of people where you're talking shit about someone and then you send it to them because they're just like, what's on your mind?
Or I've had situations where if it's the last text that you were like, if you were talking to somebody but then you were going to send something else to somebody else, but when you like close out your messages, it doesn't always close out the last message that you had. So then when you go into type and you just, in my mind, when it's happened to me, it's I just automatically think I'm texting the person that I want to. And then I hit send and I'm like, oh, fuck, I should not have done that. That was to the wrong person. I think now iPhone, at least iPhone, I don't know if Androids have this, but iPhone, if you're texting iPhone to iPhone, you can edit stuff too. So
But
think,
you can still see it.
oh yeah, for sure. Like if you don't edit it quick enough or, you send the wrong thing or whatever, yeah, of course. But there's little things like if you make a little mistake. So in my story, I kind of talk about that, but you can edit it, thank God, because sometimes you would put yourself in some real sticky situations if we didn't have that feature.
Dead. She edits it and it's like that whole long paragraph. Thanks for being such a great brother. Our stepdad's such a dick, blah, blah, blah. And then she edits, she's like, it was nice seeing you today.
It's like, wait, I thought that was much longer, and all of a sudden it's 2 sentences long. Oh my gosh, I can't. Well, hopefully you came out the other end stronger for that.
Oh, I don't.
For writing in bestie.
I know who it is, and she could give a flying fuck. But
well, that's good then. At least she does.
yeah,
She's not hard up on it, or feel some type of way about it. So that's good at least.
yes, no. And what's your text fail?
Okay, so my text fail has to do with a HOA group that I'm a part of. So our community has a WhatsApp group chat with all of us, so we can just talk about our grievances, things that have been bothering us, things that maybe we need more answers on, or things like that. And lately, there has been a huge uptick in the residents just needing to know what's going on with our budget because we received a budget basically at the end of the year. It tells you, your fees are going up or they're staying the same or whatever it is. They told us our fees were going up, but the reasonings that they gave us were not really legitimate or didn't seem legitimate. They rushed through the budget so no one could really see it. So there's a lot of sketchy things going on. So ultimately, a couple of the owners of that specific text messaging group decided that they wanted to reach out to this HOA board and get some answers. So we basically had to get like a petition going in order to have like an emergency meeting, call an emergency meeting. So, I'm still new to the community, but I do like to speak up and I do like to be involved. But I think, again, sometimes when you're texting really fast or typing really fast, you really need to like pump the brakes and at least proofread because we were talking about, there are a couple women who really work hard to hear everybody's voices, get everybody's thoughts down, things like that. So I suggested, maybe we have an evening where a couple of us open our garages, everyone from the community comes over and they write down their grievances and just air their grievances that they have with the HOA. So we have a running list of everything, we can compile it, and then we can send this to the HOA board. Here I am like, oh, this is like such a productive, suggestion. I'm so proud of myself. Yay me. And one of the women who work really hard to keep the group in check or whatever, keep it alive, she responds and just says, oh, we've already done that. Myself and another individual, we've already collected people's grievances and their thoughts about it. So I responded and just said, oh, that's shady. Thank you for doing that and for going around the community and getting everybody's thoughts. Had no idea I said that's shady. So he immediately responds. Well, actually, it wasn't even her. First, another homeowner responds and says, I'm not really sure what's shady about that, Sean. And I wasn't reading it because I was busy doing other things. And then she responded after him and just said, yeah, I'm not sure what's shady or sounds a little sus. We'll have to talk offline. So I start freaking out because I'm like, what are they saying? Because of course I'm trying to catch up with the messages because I've been gone for a solid, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So I start scrolling up and I'm looking at the conversation and I realize that I wrote shady and I had meant to say I didn't realize someone had already done that. So I literally, because I think I said like, thank you for already doing that, but it came out as thank you for being shady doing that. Something like that. So I was mortified. So of course I start backpedaling because it's not, iPhone to iPhone. So I start, I texted it back in the group and I just said, I am so sorry. I did not mean to say it was shady. All I meant to say was that I didn't know you had already had something figured out or created. And then I ended up messaging that person separately, just saying, I didn't mean to come for you in the group chat. That is not at all what I meant to say. I had meant to say this. And obviously, of course, they're great. And they just responded and they said, it's not a big deal. Like, don't worry about it. It happens all the time. But I was mortified because I thought, being new to the community, I'm like, I don't want people to hate me or think that I'm, whatever, this prick who's over on, the corner lot friggin' bitching to people about being shady.
Dead.
And so I had to like backpedal and fix that really quick. But now, since then, I have like proofread so many texts before sending them because I'm just so nervous that I'm going to get it wrong.
Dead. Way to make a name for yourself. They know who you are now. Loud and proud.
Sure do. Sure
Sean and you're shady.
feel Sean and his shady ass.
You probably are changed in everyone's phone to Shady Sean, to be quite honest.
Oh my God.
You
Kind of
shady
a
man.
cute nickname.
Yeah, it's like instead of Slim Shady, it's Sean Shady.
Hell yeah.
Will the please real yeah. Will the real Sean Shady please stand up?
For
Please stand up.
real. For real.
That was a tongue twister. Okay, too many S's.
For real. All right, Britt, lay it on us. We ready for it.
Okay, so let me just set the scene about this text fail of mine.
Do it.
So I'm probably like 19 or 20. I'm like at home with my mom. I'm like, hating life, hate my job. Who wants to work? Let's just be rich and famous. Like, and I'm working in a kitchen. Like minimum wage. I was literally making like $9 an hour. And like everyone there was like super friendly. And so there was this guy that was working outside of the kitchen. And I must have had his number for something. I forget what, but like I used to like, I don't know, do a bunch of things. Like I used to do like color runs with people and like there was like a bit of a community there. So like my boss was in her office and I was like texting on my phone or like scrolling on Facebook, I'm sure like doing something I shouldn't be sure. And this guy came around and saw that I was on my phone when I was working and he texted me. He's like, "Oh, you better get off your phone or I'll text your boss and let her know or I'll go to your boss." And I was like, "Say less." Like I said, please rat me out. And all of a sudden,
Were you close with this person, or like did he like text you as a joke, or was he serious?
No. He was being like joking. Like I'm super sarcastic. So he was like, huh, but like probably also like, cause he was close with the boss. So he was probably like, setting the tone, like get back to work, but like also like, haha.
Got you. Okay.
And so I was like, please rat me out. Like, do me a favor. Like, I don't need this job. I'm 20 years old, like $9 an hour, that kind of vibe.
I'm better than this. Call me when I'm Hannah Montana.
Literally. And so literally my phone goes off. I look and it's a bunch of question marks. And I'm like, is he dumb? Like, what? Sean, do you want to know what I fucking said to him?
God.
Instead of please rat me out, I said, please eat me out.
Oh my God. That is a big error.
The gasp, I gasped, literally.
Oh my gosh.
One of those moments where like everything freezes and is slow in motion. Your face just gets hot and red. Your stomach just like drops your butt. Your heart's racing. And I'm like, how do I come back from this?
God. So how did you come back from that? What do you even say to that?
Well, then he wrote, please eat me out, question mark. And I'm like, oh no. And then I was like, autocorrect, rat me out. I meant rat me out. And he's like, yeah. And then I was like, I can never, ever look at this man ever again.
Now it's almost like the next few days you're looking for reasons to get fired so you don't have to think. You're like, oh shit, I'll taint the lettuce. I'll put it on the ground and put it back in the freaking buffet, or I won't wash this dish so someone freaking gets a dirty dish.
No, it's...
Oh my gosh, I would have been mortified.
I was. And it was, yeah, like literally like what you said, like trying to get fired. It was like the scene from Bridesmaids where she's like, who's driving that car? And it's like no one. And she's like driving past the cop. She's like, I'm littering. And she's like throwing things out the window. I'm drinking and driving. Like literally. Yeah, at this point, get me fired. Like, but yeah, I held on to that job.
Saying, yes, I am with him, Enrique. I am Mrs. Iglesias.
Oh. Yeah, literally. Forget my name. I am Mrs. Iglesias.
That is so bad. That is so bad.
And like, how horrible. Like, I'm talking about like this man was like a higher up. I can't. Like, just thinking about it makes me sick. Please.
So did he, the next time you saw each other? Because, I mean, you worked there for a while. In
5 years.
Capacities. So did you, like, did he see you and start saying, or whatever, like, would joke around with you and be like, you sure you don't want to eat me out, Brittany? Or you don't want me to eat you out?
Oh my God, no. It was like this
Never
pact.
again.
unspoken pact that we never talked about it ever again. And we're like, we need to move on from this. My phone is now burned in a fire.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Get rid of that.
That is insane.
Yeah. Well,
That
autocorrect.
was way juicier than mine. That was, I mean, I don't know who's listening. Y'all know how crazy HOA, groups can be, but man, that was some intense stuff right there, Brittany.
That's why I held it to last, because I'm like, this one's good.
My God. Oh, that one's real good.
But mortifying. Mortifying.
Oh my gosh. Wow, wow, wow.
Let's all just take a deep breath from that one. And no, please don't eat me out, sir.
Inhale for 3, exhale for 4.
Literally.
Meditating. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, today, Miss Brittany, it's your turn to take a stab at a word where you have to pronounce it correctly, give the definition, and try to use it in a sentence. Last time, if everyone was listening, she didn't make it past the pronunciation of the word, but we're going to see how she does this week. Last week, if any of you listened or tuned in, I did get the pronunciation, but I had absolutely no idea what the word was. So Brittany definitely stumped me there. But your word this week, which again has stumped me quite a few times and still does every now and then, is spelt E-P-I-T-O-M-E. This is the word.
Epitome?
Yes, epitome. Use it in a sentence.
Like, oh my God. Now, like, I know what it means. Like, it's like the epitome of me. Like, why am I blanking? Like, epitome.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like, it's like your attitude or the way that you carry yourself is the epitome of me. Like, it's the same reasons or the same things that we do together. But the weird and funny thing about this word that I always am challenged with is I'm always tempted whenever I read it on social media, I'm always tempted to say epitome.
Oh, I could see that.
It technically, it is spelt the same way.
No, 100%.
You can
Also,
see it differently.
I appreciate your graph paper that you wrote it on. Are you doing math problems in your spare time?
This is actually, so whatever. Shout out to anybody else out there who takes notes on graph paper. I do not take it on line paper. I always take notes in graph paper.
Stop.
Yes, because I like that, like when I make bullet points, I can like color in one of the squares and then point. And then I can also make sure that like my lines are straighter. I can write smaller because the squares are smaller. So I don't know. I guess I'm weird. But I think this word is a weird one. Again, when last week I think I said like I hate the English language, or I think it was the week that you first did it, because technically that is the spelling of epitome as well. So someone will say, like this person is the epitome of what positive reinforcement should look like or something like that. But then people will argue and say, well, it's epitome. But I've heard people say, like in speeches or, the way that they pronounce it, people say epitome. So I just think that it's so, that word is so weird in that way where it can be said multiple different ways, but it's spelt the same.
Yeah, no, I know there's a few of those that people will be giving a speech. I'm like, what did they just say?
For real. It's crazy. But I'm proud of you. You got it this week.
Thank you.
I thought that one was going to be like a little difficult because there's a lot of E's in there, but you got it. So good for you, bestie. Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you. Okay, so up for next week, we have 90s kids. Where are they now? Nostalgic deep dives into childhood favorites, TV shows, toys, snacks, whatever, you name it. Let's talk about it. So send those in for next week, please.
Yes, please submit all of your favorite things from the 90s to us on Insta or our Gmail at besties, that's BESTEAS, and banter at gmail.com. We want to hear from you folks, especially all the 90s babies out there like Britt and I. We want to know, who was your crush in the 90s? What show was your favorite? What toys did you like? I already have quite a running list that I cannot wait to talk about in terms of toys, and a couple heartthrobs as well. So get those in, submit them.
Yes. And that's a wrap, besties. Thanks for hanging with us today. Don't forget to follow and share the pod with your besties. Stay fab, stay fierce, and keep spilling the tea with us. We'll catch you next time, as always, in Besties We Trust.
Bye!
Bye!